You know, I've heard a lot of people say that horror movie remakes are a bad idea, and most of the time, I agree. But sometimes, they work. Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 favorite horror movie remakes, or best horror movie remakes, in my opinion, obviously. Completely subjective, not objective. I hope people take that lightly, because honestly, I'm not a person that knows all the knowledge of horror movies and stuff, so I'm not saying my list is correct. I'm just saying that these are the best horror remakes, in my opinion. These are just my personal favorites. So yeah, now that I straightened that out, let's get to it. And also, in my next video, I'll be doing the worst horror movie remakes, which will be actually a lot harder list because there's a lot of fucking bad ones, but still, this is the best list, so let's get to it. Here's my top 10 best horror movie remakes, in my opinion. And as always, before our top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are, there's not a lot, actually. It's just The Blob, Evil Dead 2013, and The Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003. It's not a bad movie. That's it. Just gonna make the top 10 list, but didn't make my top 10, this is my number 10. My number 10 is Horror of Dracula. The 1950s Horror of Dracula. It's a Hammer horror film. I love Hammer horror films, especially all the ones that had Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee and stuff, and this is a personal favorite. Like, I love this movie, and it's a remake of the old school Dracula movie with Bela Lugosi and stuff. Great film. This is like its own take on it in a more like violent route. Like, that's what Hammer horror did. This very silly, over-the-top violence. That's what Sleepy Hollow does, because Sleepy Hollow is like a 90s version of a Hammer horror film. It's an homage to Hammer horror, and Horror Dracula is one of the best Hammer horror films I have ever seen, and I think it's great. I think Christopher Lee is great as Dracula. I think Peter Cushing is awesome as Van Helsing. I love that they got, what's his name, Michael York in the film as well. A lot of great performances. It's a little cheesy and stuff, but that's what makes the Hammer horror so great. It is so over the top and cheesy, but so entertaining and fun. And yeah, I actually like this version and another version I'm about to talk about more than the Bela Lugosi version, and that's a great movie, but I just love these remakes a little more, and yeah, great film. Coming in number 9 is The Ring. Yes, The Ring. 7 days. I don't think The Ring is better than Ringu, or, well, it's close, but I think Ringu is a better made film. The Ring is a great movie, though, and I think Gore Verbinski did a very good job. And I wanted to put Horror of Dracula lower, but The Ring is a more competently made film, and it's scarier. Like, Horror of Dracula is just fun as hell, but this is a pretty terrifying movie. Like, Samara is one of the most scariest, like, horror villains out there. She is terrifying. She is so creepy with the hair, and she pops out of the TV, and when she pops out of that TV in the third act, it's just shit your pants scary. And I like Naomi Watts in this movie and how she's investigating this story about this tape. Everyone's dying after 7 days, and then like her son watches it, and then she watches it, and she has to put an end to it all. And it's really great with a great climax, a great performance by Naomi Watts, and it's such a grim film, and it's a really well directed film. And I thought Gore Verbinski did a very good job with this movie. I always thought he should go back to horror, but then you saw what he did. You saw what he did with that other movie that we should not talk about, Cure for Wellness. And yeah, this movie's great though, and yeah, one of my favorite remakes out there. It's so good. Coming in number 8 is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Yes, the 1978 film, which is a remake of the 1956 Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is a great film. Really low budget 50s film about like these people in a small town. And then there's like these aliens that are taking over the people's bodies and stuff. They don't know what's human, what's not. It's a really cool story. Very claustrophobic feeling, the original version. This one brings it to a bigger scale, and like the whole world's infected with these aliens and stuff. And then they can disguise themselves as people and everything, and like they don't know who's who and stuff. And has the classic ending with the then a lot of great performances. Like, they got Don Sutherland in this movie, Leonard Nimoy, Karen Allen, Jeff Goldblum. A lot of great actors in this film, and the practicality looks great. There's just some A lot of grim atmosphere in this film, and that ending is just such a classic ending, and yeah, this is a great remake. Coming in at number 7 is a super underrated film, and it's a remake of another super underrated film, and that's Fright Night. Fright Night is so underrated, I have no idea why no one watches these movies. They're so good. Fright Night 2's not, but the original 80s Fright Night is such a great film. And no one saw it. It became a cult classic, but no one saw it. Fright Night 2 was just shit. And then they remade it. And they did more modernization of Fright Night. And they changed a lot of the story and the character traits, which I really liked. Because I hate when a remake just flat out just copies the original film. But this one really changes the story a lot and changes the character traits. Like Charlie's now popular instead of a nerd like he was in the original film. Peter Vincent's like a TV show host and not a freaking like priest and stuff. And there's a different, because of the time periods, there's a different definition of cool, because Jerry's like a cool guy. Cool guy in the 80s is different than a cool guy in the 2000s, so it's a lot of interesting, different takes that they put in the new Fright Night film. And I think it's great. I thought this was a great film, super funny, super creative, really well. I love the whole cast. It has like Imogen Poots, Anton Yelchin, Colin Farrell, Toni Collette, Peter Vincent is played by David Tennant, which is perfect casting, and Christopher Mintz-Plasse as well, and Dave Franco. Like, the whole cast is just great, and it ended up doing the same like the original film. No one saw it. It was critically acclaimed, and people liked it, but no one saw it, which confuses me. Coming in number 6 is Let Me In. Let Me In is a really good remake, a really well made, really well acted remake. Let the Right One In is a way better film, it's just more unsettling, and it's a better constructed film. This one is still solid, it still is very much got the same beats as the original, but different changes and stuff, and different type of performances. This one's a little more creepier. I was a little more unsettled because of what she does in the original. But this one's a little more creepier and stuff, especially how some characters act. I thought, what's his name? Quay Smith-McPhee was really great in this film, and Chloe Grace Moretz was great. Richard Jenkins was really good too, and the bullies were such little pricks. Like, there's some really great stuff in this film, and I think it's an absolute solid remake. Maybe not be as good as the original, but still really solid. Coming in number 5 is Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead, directed by Zack Snyder, one of the great Zack Snyder films. Before the age when he did the DCEU, Zack Snyder did some great films. Watchmen, one of them. Dawn of the Dead was another one. I love Dawn of the Dead. I think this is a fun movie with a great soundtrack. And I love that it has the same premise and story of them in the mall and stuff, but they add more layers to the characters, and they make it a lot more violent and a lot more just insane, this movie and stuff. I still have more of a soft spot for the George A. Romero Dawn of the Dead, but this is still a really great and well-made film. This is a quality film with great characters. Like, I loved Vin Rhames in this film, and Sarah Polley. They're all really great in this film, and there's also, like, they talk about different things, like, how do you kill someone how do you kill someone in a proper way, and, like, Mekhi Phifer in this movie, his wife got bit, but she's pregnant, and his baby's, like, a zombie and stuff. How do you, like, handle that and everything? There's just a lot of interesting topics they talk about, a lot of interesting survival techniques they talk about, and it's just an interesting film, but also a really violent and graphic and terrifying film. So, yeah, Dawn of the Dead. Coming in number 4 is The Fly. The Fly with Jeff Goldblum, directed by David Cronenberg. It's a solid film. Never saw the original, so can't compare it, but I love this movie. The practical effects alone are amazing, and Cronenberg's direction, Jeff Goldblum's amazing performance. Mary Elizabeth Montestrano's also great, but Jeff Goldblum steals this movie as a character that you sympathize with and like, but then you just get disgusted with him as the film keeps going. And again, the effects in this movie are absolutely crazy, and some of the best practical effects you'll watch, and I fucking love The Fly. It's a film I watch every Halloween season, and definitely gotta check it out if you haven't seen it. Coming in number 3 is I Need a Georgie. Yes, It. Last year's It was so good. I loved this movie. I've watched this movie just to death now since I bought the Blu-ray, and it's so good. It's so much better than that stupid TV movie that everyone seems to love. Especially after this new one came out, there's like a big fan base now for the stupid Tim Curry movie, which is so dumb. I hate that movie. I love Tim Curry. I love Tim Curry in that film. That's it. And the kids are okay, but I think that movie is so overly long, so dull, so unscary. I think it's a ridiculous film, but this one's great, kicks ass. Bill Skarsgård is such a great Pennywise. All these kid actors, the Losers Club, welcome to the Losers Club. They are such great kid actors, and I cannot wait for It Chapter 2, and yeah, I'm excited. Coming in number 2 is Bram Stoker's Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula, again, a horror of Dracula is a more fun film. This is just such a beautifully made film, and again, it's a remake of the Bela Lugosi Dracula story. It's based on Bram Stoker's novel and stuff like all the Dracula movies are. Well, most of them, not Dracula 2000. Let's not talk about that film. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Gary Oldman, amazing. Winona Ryder, amazing. Anthony Hopkins, amazing. Keanu Reeves, not so amazing, but still. Production design, costume design, cinematography, visuals, the atmosphere, everything about this movie is just gorgeous. And it just feels like a Dracula story. Like, it's just a perfect Dracula story. And it's a lot to do with Francis Ford Coppola's direction and just the wonderful acting Gary Oldman gives. And it's just a truly terrifying film, and just you kind of almost sympathize with Dracula, even though he's just this evil monster. But it's just, again, all thanks to Gary Oldman's amazing performance. And there's just a lot of scenes that just really stick with you. And yeah, it's one of the best remakes out there. And my number 1 favorite horror movie remake, you all should know what it is. It's one of my favorite horror films of all time, and that's John Carpenter's The Thing. Yes, The Thing from Another World is a classic, and then they remade it again in the fucking 2000s, but then you found out it's more of a prequel and stuff, and that movie was shit. This is a great film. This is one of my favorite kinds of films, like sci-fi horror, like Alien and shit like that. This movie knocks it out of the park. Its practical effects is one of the greatest practical effects you'll ever see. The flies are amazing too. For the fly, amazing. The Thing is even better with its effects and its kill scenes, and when the guy tries to paddle the dude and the freaking hands come off, just gruesome and awesome. I love how claustrophobic it feels. You feel trapped in Antarctica with these guys. It's unsettling. There's nowhere for them to go, and they're stuck with this thing that can look like anything. It's terrifying. I love these characters. I love Kurt Russell and Keith David in this film. I love the ending, how deep and thought-provoking it is, and you don't know if the specimen is in Kurt Russell or Childs, played by Keith David. You have no idea what's happening. You have no idea if they survive in the end, and that's what makes it all the more unsettling. I thought the score for this movie is one of the greatest horror movie scores. And again, John Carpenter's direction is absolutely perfection. This is actually considered like John Carpenter's personal favorite film, and I can see why. It's amazing. So yeah, that was my top 10 personal favorite horror movie remakes. So in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with the top 10 list? If not, give me guys top 10 favorite horror movie remakes in your guys' opinion. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and join the dark side.